This is Malee from America, and I am the president and founder of Support Education Worldwide. And I'm here today to interview and talk with Sister Zeph, who is the president and founder chairperson of Zeph and Malee Free Education and Women's Empowerment Foundation. We're here today to talk about 2020 and COVID and climate change and Sister Zeph's school, and she will also ask me some questions about how I got through 2020 in America. So go ahead, Sister Zeph.
Thank you very much, Malee, for this opportunity. And I think this is very important for us as community leaders to let our supporters and our followers know that how we have been dealing with the pandemic. I think first I should ask you about America. Although we know that the situation has not been good in America, what has been your personal experience during the pandemic?
Yeah, well, I live in Washington State. I'm on the border of Oregon, and yeah, the pandemic has affected everyone's lives here. And I just stayed low last year. I focused on starting a business and work, and downtown Vancouver, where I live, it was basically a ghost town for a while last year. Like, nobody went out, and now people are starting to go out more, but I know that there's a new variant, so we're still being as safe as possible. And that's really all that we can do, is just try to live our lives normally, but be as safe as possible.
So I am a witness of this thing. That was a very brave act from you. When during the pandemic, everybody was closed inside the houses, which was good for their own protection and for the protection of the society. I'm sorry, you will see a lot of flies flying around me. They are part of a family, and they will remain here during the interview. And I have seen you working a lot for the gallery. You have established a gallery all alone. Could you please share that experience with us?
Yeah, I took a huge risk, and I mean, I'm known for taking risks, which is why I've been to Pakistan twice to visit Sister Zeph and her school. But yeah, I started an art gallery right in the middle of the pandemic. Like in July, I took over that lease downtown, and I basically ran that place totally alone for 6 months. I recently took in business partners that put in a bookstore into the art gallery. And that's been helping me a lot because, as you know, like, COVID and the pandemic has not only been stressful for everyone, but a lot of businesses have shut down. But I've seen with my own eyes that there's actually a lot of people that have started businesses and been successful. It's just in the art world, from my experience, like, it's not as easy to start a business and get a lot of immediate success. But I don't have any regrets because I've met so many people and I've gotten more involved in the local community. Because I've been a part of the global community probably more than the local community. And so I guess, like, COVID and the pandemic brought that out. Like, it forced me to be more involved locally, which doesn't make a lot of sense because there was a lot of shutdowns and we had to be to ourselves. But I wanted to be proactive and do something positive for the local community. So I have no regrets. Yeah.
I have seen you did it very bravely. I mean, you were, of course, obviously you were trying to protect yourself from the COVID-19 and others as well. That's why you have been working alone, and sometimes you would work until the middle of night. And when I would call you, most of the time I saw you were still working there. So that was so brave of you. It gave me also a lot of encouragement to keep going, because the pandemic, although it is still there now, there is a fourth wave of pandemic in Pakistan, but
Mhm.
the people like you are a really good inspiration for all of us who think that pandemic has taken us so much from us, which is true,
Mhm.
but we have to rise up again. We have to fight with pandemic like this by making more achievements. So hats off to you.
Well, hats off to you because you and your family contracted COVID. I mean, you had COVID. So,
Uh, yes, because we have been having a lot of public dealing during the pandemic. We have been feeding a lot of people. We were giving them groceries and food. We were distributing in the different villages by going door to door. We
mhm.
did not gather people at one place, but we were visiting in our van. We would put the grocery bags in the van, and we would visit door to door. And maybe during that, the COVID-19 came to my home, and unfortunately, my brother-in-law died. My mother had to be
Yeah.
on a ventilator for many days, and thanks to you and Teresa Gattung and our sister Deborah, who have been helping us a lot to fight these. It would seem like they were never ending problems. But now things are better. I mean, I have been having COVID, and my sisters and my father and everybody in the family. That was a really tough time. But I think there are many people who have seen even worse situation than us.
Yeah, I know you've been fighting alongside your local community and feeding the most destitute and the children and widows. And yeah, it might have been because of that you contracted COVID, but you've been a warrior, you and your family, and you all have pulled through it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Thanks
and
to
so,
you and to all the friends all over the world who have been sending their support and who have been there for us.
yeah, I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone, especially on Facebook who donated, and I just want to say thank you. And also, I want to
And I also forgot one name, Claire, the founder and chairperson of Three Sisters. She rarely talks to me, but the moment she realized that I am suffering from COVID, she just jumped in to help me and to help you to, start getting help from our friends. So thank you very much, Sister Claire. You're
yeah,
so wonderful.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Claire. You're right, she did a lot. So I want to ask, how is your school and local community dealing with COVID now?
Um, uh, Majority of people were not having vaccination until end of July because they were afraid that they might get die in 2 years if they have the vaccination, or maybe they will not be able to bear children. But our government is taking really good steps. I mean, they're blocking their SIM cards, and nobody can survive without a phone nowadays. It is a part of our body, and they are trying to ban the travel for these people who are not getting vaccination. So the number of vaccination is increasing. Like yesterday, 1 million people have been vaccinated in the country.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but still there is a fourth wave in the country, and in one province there is already a lockdown, a complete lockdown, and in other cities like Lahore and Rawalpindi, in some areas we are having the smart lockdown. Our government is dealing good with that, and I think the things are getting better. But during last week, the number of cases have increased a lot.
Yeah, I think the same thing is for America too. Like there's another wave, but I just unfortunately I have to keep working and you know.
Yes.
So and how are the children and teachers for the school, your school?
The school has reopened just yesterday, and yes, children have come, and teachers are doing their best. They have been vaccinated. All the teachers are vaccinated, and because we had a camp here in which we made sure that everybody in our surrounding has the vaccination. So first of all, I took vaccination, so they know that it is not harmful, and then everybody or the youth and the men and women, they came and they got vaccinated. That was a very good achievement for us 2 weeks before.
Okay, and what are your future plans?
The future plans are very simple because the sources that we are already working on them. Like the school is working okay, the vocational training center is doing great. Now I want to do something more. I mean, we have to move forward. We have to go to the next level. And for which I think I should try my other abilities. And I think I can speak, I can share the stories because I have an experience of more than 2 decades of working among these underprivileged children and disadvantaged families. And I think I have a lot to share. That's why I think in the future, I would love to speak at the conferences. I would like to introduce myself as a speaker on the. Although I have an experience of speaking on international conferences, but I want to speak more. This is my future plan. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna apply for more opportunities where you're a speaker. And do you have any travel plans in the future, or are you already a part of anything coming up, or?
Yes, I do not have international travel much in the coming days, but maybe I'll go to Europe 2 or 3 times in this year. Most of the programs that I have been a part of, I am attending them virtually because it is more safe still for many countries to travel. So yeah.
Yeah, I might be meeting you in Europe sometime the end of this year, maybe early next year, huh?
Yeah, we have a plan, and I would invite other friends if anybody wants to join us there. Uh, uh, I'm sure we will be in Europe again in December.
Oh, okay. And one last question before we end the interview is, do you have anything to say about climate change, or have you seen anything regarding climate change in Pakistan?
Actually, there is a huge glacier already that was melting last week in the country. The record rains have been raining in the country, not in Pakistan, but in China, in Europe, we have seen huge floods. Uh, I think if there should be an emergency, this should be about the climate change. At Zeph Education, what we are going to do during next few days, because Independence Day of Pakistan is coming on 14th of August, and our Prime Minister has announced to plant billions of trees in the countries. He has requested to the nation to plant trees. That's why we are going to plant as many trees as we can, and you are going to see a lot of photos and videos about these activities in coming days. I think this is the only thing we can do. This is the best thing to plant trees. And what is that? Another thing is to control the population because our resources are being used really rapidly. We should control our population, not only in Pakistan, but all over the world, so that we can save our resources for the coming generations.
Yeah, I would have to agree that climate change is probably the biggest threat to humanity right now.
Yes.
I mean, even I know that COVID has taken lives, but climate change, they estimate that in 20 years' time that there's going to be over 1 billion people worldwide displaced because of climate change.
And
So,
now they were saying, I was listening this in the news that there are 3 countries in Africa, I guess, where uh, there's going to be a food emergency.
Oh, really? Like all the people might have to evacuate the country or?
Maybe not like this, because WHO will be there, United Nations will be there to help them, UNICEF will be there, but there is going to be a food emergency. I was just listening it in the news.
Oh, you're talking about famine, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, we definitely should talk more about these subjects, but I think for right now, that's good. And again, I just want to say thank you to all of our supporters. And do you have anything else to add?
Yes, thank you very much to all our supporters for your love, for your care, for your support, because without you, we cannot transform all these lives. And do invite me and Malee to be a speaker on your family gathering, or your get-togethers, or the conferences, or anywhere you would like to listen some unheard stories. You can invite us virtually or physically. We are available as speakers.